Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be something a little bit different. I've not done before for a weekly brawling, but I think it needs to be done. It's going to be more of a talking video on how, based on what I've experienced so far with this kitchen sink buff, how it should be played. First off, I think starting out as Swan is going to be the best choice. This is basically a solo match with no NPCs, no nothing. This is just going to kind of be a little bit of a walkthrough. Going to get kitchen sink a cooldown ability or whatever, but for the most part, I think you should start out as Swan, mainly for this right here, laser drill. You want to get this laser drill down right away, and if you can convince your teammates to get laser drills down too, this is very powerful early game. You get 3 of these bad boys on, that's 60 DPS a second every one of these is going to do to your enemy, which is very good. It will shred waves early game. Not to mention, you get a couple of missile turrets right off the bat, which you can plop down, and that'll help with anti-air coverage early game. I do want to push T2 immediately at the start of this. This is very good. You want to do it while you have Swan out and while you are waiting for Kitchen Sink to cool down, because you want to get this upgrade right here. Now, the way this Kitchen Sink buff works is your tech, your units, and their abilities will be constantly active. So if you are playing as Swan, you get laser drill, you upgrade the tech to T2, you get laser drill level 2, it is going to upgrade it to level 2 and give you plus 10 more damage, which is phenomenal. You get a free aura, which is very nice too. So let's see, we're going to get T2. Now, if you swamp commanders while you're upgrading T1, T2, and T3, or T4, etc., you will lose your progress. So do not do it in the middle of upgrading tiers. It does not work. It will cancel it out. So just be aware of that. Next thing, like I said, I want to get the laser drill. Now, here is the beautiful part of this. We can kitchen sink now to any one of these commanders on this board. I haven't tried these yet, but I think this is just research and technologies, etc., for all 3 races, but you can basically get any one of these. I tend to go Swan, and Mangus isn't bad if you're T2 already, because you can plop this badass bunker down and get another rocket launcher. So basically you can go all flamethrowers with maybe 1 rifle, then you can do their tech with basically range and that. Now, what I have noticed is, don't quote me on it yet, I haven't fully tested it, but if your defensive structures get popped while you're on a different commander, they tend not to respawn. So I don't know if that's working as intended or if that is a glitch, because I've had a few crashes already with this. Now, the same thing goes, you can spawn their units. Now, one thing I have noticed is Mangus's experience does not cumulative stack while you are off this commander. So it's only gaining experience while you are on this commander. So if you were to plop an Angus guard down, you max his veterancy as much as you can. This is not going to continue charging as you go to another unit from what I've seen, so, or another commander. So I'm going to further test this a little bit and see how that works out. But this is going to be the nice part right here. We are going to wait this 8 seconds. We'll get our gas just because we can. You want to max your gases. You're going to need the resources if you're going to be constantly bouncing back and forth. Now, for my next favorite commander switch, use this wisely, guys. Kerrigan, her assimilate and creep will constantly charge non-stop. So if you auto-cast this with like 5 or 6 charges, you are going to get 500 to 600 free minerals. So you can kind of bounce back and forth. And as always, you want to spawn her defensive structures, which are free, which is very cool. And then I like to get Kerrigan on the field. And I will max her tech because she's T2. We'll get the Fury, we'll get her lightning bolts, and then we'll get her fortitude. And then, depending on what we're up against, I may go for Raptor shenanigans, which do work very well. I mean, you can get shredding armor and everything. Now, while I'm waiting on Kerrigan, because I've already got her out and an Aegis guard, this I just kind of spawned to show you guys Mangus, but depending on your play style, I mean, I will let both these pop, and then I will pop into T3 while I'm on Kerrigan. That way we can get efficiency before we pop into the next commander, and then from there on out, you guys can pretty much do anything and everything you want to counter. I mean, it is very cool and very effective the way this works. I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you can pop between, you can change so many metas. I mean, you can go all Terran units with science vessels healing you. You can go Mangus's units healing everybody else because he's got those insane metabacks that can double heal everything. You can jump to Abathor. You can spawn a bunch of tanky ass roaches like this. Pop all their tech, and his biomass constantly keeps charging even though you are on other commanders. So this is very, very good and effective. Like, you can do creeper host spam or swarm host. Well, not creeper host. You can do all swarm hosts and then literally save up the biomasses and just put them all on them. You can put his toxic nest down anywhere. You can spam his heals when you need to. You can jump into the Protoss commanders. You can go carriers. You can go anything. I mean, you can spawn their defensive structures. I mean, at one match I played, I had this entire section of our base was all defensive structures because we constantly kept bouncing back and forth. But because I just beat this, it kind of gives you a little bit of a rundown. I just wanted to take a second to kind of explain the way this works a little bit. I mean, kitchen sink, you can bounce all over the place. You can spawn different commanders. You can get Tychus on the board. You can get Abathor. You can get Alarak. You can get the Haka. The Haka, I've been noticing people doing after they hit T3 about the 7 to 10 minute mark, because then you can instantly level him up to fire breath, detection, armored, all max heals, max evolve, or max devour. I mean, the meta this week is just absolutely insane, and if you get a good aura, it's even more better. I mean, I don't like the middle income bonuses removed, but I just wanted to take a second to kind of explain the way kitchen sink works. And if you coordinate with your teammates and you guys get drills up right off the back, you all kind of do the same thing, you can steamroll your opponent. It is absolutely ridiculous. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the section below, and I will try and answer them the best I can. And without further ado, I'm going to log off for this, and I'm going to get some more matches up and running so you guys have a lot of entertainment for this week. Take care, and hope you enjoyed this.